Okay, so next we're going to cover off on what are we measuring? And specifically, this is going to cover two components. First, aligning the metrics, and then coming up with a measurement plan. So first, let's go through aligning metrics. So measurement use cases really inform the business actions, and some of these metrics align back into over here, the awareness, intent, and purchase funnel of a sales cycle. And so when we go through each of these measurement use cases, I'll take you through how to think about business to business versus potentially, a direct to consumer business use case. And so when we start at the top with awareness, and one other thing I want to say here is that you'll notice that, these use cases aren't solidly in only awareness or only intent and et cetera. They go through a process where the consumer first gets exposure, and then they take certain actions to which the brand or the business has follow-up reactions, and all of these keep going on until the consumer becomes a buyer and makes a purchase and turns into a customer. So first we'll start with awareness and exposure. This is where, you really want to understand of your audiences, your target audiences, who actually is looking at the messages that you're sending out across all those different channels that we just covered off on. And so if you're a business to business company, you may say, for exposure, which departmental buyer saw my ad? If you're a D2C company, you might say, which audience target segment buyer saw my ad? It's slightly nuanced here. Departmental buyer is someone who could potentially be a user of your goods or service, or a buyer of your goods of service, or an influencer to the person who's actually going to buy, versus a D2C. It's pretty straightforward. Excuse me, it's pretty straightforward. And it's, hey, of the target audience, who actually bought? And when we move to incrementality and ROI, this gets into intent to make a purchase. And so you may think about, what are the messages, creatives, other activations that you have about your good or service and market, and how do they resonate and across what channels, versus how much more did the consumer buy because of maybe a specific offering. So incrementality and ROI really just has to do with what are the activities that your company is putting out there to try and reach those target audiences and consumers and buyers, and what's working and what is not working, and how do you methodically get to what is and what isn't working. When we get to growth of CRM data sets, this really just means, how do I get anyone who's interested in my good or service as a business to offer me their information in return for something of value that they feel is of value. The examples here could be, in business to business, it might be getting a demo, which then leads into a free month of the service, versus in direct to consumer, it might be, getting a coupon or a discount within a limited time frame, or a 2-for-1 offer, or something else that the consumer would say, hey, you know what, I want to give this company my contact information, my name, my email, my phone number, in order to get that discount. And then finally, with sentiment, lift, and loyalty on the purchase spectrum, you'll see that, hey, once they've actually made a purchase, do they like your goods or service? Do they like your products? How often are they coming back? What prompts them to come back? How are they renewing? How long are the contracts? So all of these are different ways that measurement use cases can inform the type of KPIs and metrics that matter into a measurement plan. And we had touched on a little bit of the consumer activities and the types of activities that can produce some of these metrics and how they align back to a measurement use case. So let's go into each of these. You'll see what we just covered off on what the measurement use cases across awareness, intent, and purchase on the right-hand side. And on the left-hand side, what you'll see is the list of consumer activities. Really, these come back into metrics such as leads, inquiries, visits, interaction, purchase intent, and conversion. And all of these activities that produce the metrics or data get captured by businesses and get funneled into, hey, you know what? How is this impacting what I'm trying to do for my business? Whether that's getting more awareness and exposure, whether that's trying to increase and improve my return on investment, whether that's to grow first party or CRM data sets, or whether that's to get them to buy again and have a positive sentiment and experience. So now we're going to get into how each of these metrics will build up into a measurement plan.